This is the game. The game is how Brat became Brat through the Wah Peach and Wah Daisy. How Brat was created and how they inspired Charlie XCX to be Brat. Love it.
Done.
I'm playing that game. There's gonna be so many good mechanics. You're gonna have to write songs. You're gonna have to do.
You're gonna have to go
dance
to late
moves.
night raves.
Yeah, late night raves, and you're gonna have to get on the what's it called? The remember the dance, the Dance Revolution things where you had to do the dance moves. Is there? There's gonna be a bit of karaoke involved.
Perfect.
You're gonna have to sneak around and smoke cigarettes and not get caught by your parents.
Not get caught.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna sneak around and do mushrooms. You have to take a bite. You take a bite of a toad.
Take a bite of a toad and then like trip your balls off and not what's going on and then like create Brat. Oh my God. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of the Addison Gaming Podcast, the show where we talk about the games we want to whenever they came out, because that's what we're playing. We're going to talk old stuff. We'll talk new stuff. We'll talk everything in between. I am your host, WckdGmrUK Alan, but on this episode, you can call me Live, because absolutely nobody knows how to pronounce that game. And as always, I am joined by the most amazing co-host in the world, Mike Malldee, the internet's favorite Luma. How you doing, Mike?
Oh, I am. I'm good. How are you?
I'm
a Luma.
You are. Those cute little stars roaming around Mario Galaxy, helping you accomplish things. You know, I think that's kind of a nice thing to be.
Yeah, I call Rosalina Mama.
Hey, Mama. Your Dobby mommy?
You like my shirt that you got me?
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's the one I got you from the San Francisco store in Nintendo San Francisco.
I thought
store.
it would
really
show
cool.
up on here at least, but oh well.
Just a little touch of...
just a little bit of Samus's head.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you're getting some use out of that. I thought that was one that would suit you well.
Thank you.
How you been, Mike? What's going on?
You know, been really good. Guess we had a fun week, but just trying to get my gaming on and excited for a new game for Nintendo at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ready to get out of Mario Kart World and get into Donkey Kong and whatnot, whatever else they have. So
I know it's that the lineup is kind of oddly quiet, right? Like I still don't know beyond Donkey Kong Bonanza what's going on with the Switch 2.
Bonanza.
It's Bonanza.
Straight up.
You know, we know we've got Metroid Prime 4 Beyond at some point, but there's still no date announced. We know we've got Pokemon ZA. We've got Kirby Air Riders, right? Like, but none of these feel like there's any mention of them. They had all this huge explosion with the
except for when that Metroid Prime 4 Beyond was like out now in London, and they're like, what? But it's not. So
I actually got to see that when I was
I know
when I was there. I saw it
so
because now they fixed it, right? They've updated it and they've taken it out.
That's gaming news right there.
That's it. Massive gaming news.
They fixed it. It just says 2025.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, you know, well, I'm going to still take it, but we need a date. Come on, give us a date, Nintendo. Really ready for that. Because actually, like, as you said, I'm like looking at my Switch 2. I've been playing Super Mario Kart World and, you know, having fun or whatever. But as you say, I'm ready to move on. I want that thing that makes me really want to grab my Switch 2 every day and just like play it because it's only available on Switch 2. Yeah. So lots of pressure for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Speaking of pressure, before we get into the subjects we're talking about, I am off to see Jurassic World Rebirth tonight, and no pressure, Jurassic World Rebirth, but as you know, you all know, I've said this before, Jurassic Park is my favorite film of all time. And I am so hyped for this. Like, I am like giddy with excitement because I feel like they're kind of going back to their grassroots with it. Like,
I'm jealous. I'm excited to see it too. So, but I'll have to plan it. I just totally forgot it was happening. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, I mean, look, this is the problem with me is I'm going to love it no matter what. Even like the shittest of the Jurassic World films, and some of them were pretty shit. I was still like, yeah, but it's a Jurassic film. It's really, really good. So
but there was dinosaurs.
You know, exactly. 100%. So, you know, I'm not the best critic of these because I'm already giving it a, you know, 5 stars or whatever the review is. I don't know. But, yeah, I am so stoked to go see it. I think it's already out in the US, but I think it just came out over here in the UK today, so I don't know. I haven't read
Yeah,
any
it
review.
is definitely one I would like to see. ScarJo is she can be badass, so I
Mhm.
think I think it's a good pick, and,
Jonathan Bailey,
Jonathan
hello,
Bailey,
delicious. I
can't go
mean,
wrong with that guy.
why let's just think about this for a second. What the hell are they doing putting a thirst trap in a Jurassic
A
Park film?
thirst I mean,
Total thirst
ScarJo's
trap.
also a thirst trap for
Oh,
some
yeah,
guys, so yeah, so,
100%.
like, they're both
Totally.
they I mean, but why not?
Yeah.
They better live, that's all I have to say. Imagine him getting eaten, that'd be so everybody's so upset.
I would love it. I feel like more main characters need to die in Jurassic Park films, right? How much more exciting would it have
Oh,
been
are
at,
they gonna
like
do a Last of Us?
I hope they do. That would be great, right? Because
Even though I knew
actually,
that was gonna happen, but still.
like, in the book of the first Jurassic Park book, the old guy, Hammond, who made the park, the one that was played by Richard Attenborough,
Mhm.
he fucking dies, like, really
He
nasty.
doesn't though, does he?
In the book, he does. In the book, he
Oh.
does. He dies by, those little compies eating him.
Oh.
So he had, like it was really metaphorically, like, a good like, you can't control nature and all that shit that Jurassic Park does, and how, like, the tiniest little dinosaur of all the big ones are the ones that actually got him.
Don't play God.
Don't play God. Don't play God.
But they never learn. We're in, like, the what,
No.
20th movie now.
I know, right? Yeah. And then you've got, like, Doctor Ian Malcolm, the chaostician going like, "I told you can't control." That's apparently my Ian Malcolm accent, which is horrible. I can't do it. So I don't know. Be excited for me, Mike. I will let you know, and I'll give a little update on the next episode on what
I'll
I
probably
thought of the
see it by
film.
then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, do, and we can have a little tete-a-tete about it.
Yeah.
But we are not here to break down our excitement for Jurassic World Rebirth,
Unless it was a game.
unless it was a game. Which, oh my god, if it was a game, we'd be talking about it. We are here to talk about video games, and we've got a great show for you, listeners. I'm going to share some thoughts on Live Alive. I've just started diving into that one. Pretty cool. I think it's quite exciting. And then we are going to break down some news that has been happening over the last couple of weeks and share our thoughts with that. And then our segment for this episode is thinking about which characters from the Mario universe deserve a glow up. Our friend Pauline is getting a main stage, a main focus here, coming out with Donkey Kong Bonanza. But what other characters in the Mario universe deserve their opportunity for a glow up and have their own game series? So we're going to deep dive into that. Can't wait to see where that conversation goes. But it's gonna be some good stuff. So yeah, stick around and listen through and see what you think as we go through the stuff this week. Um,
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Well, first off, so to jump into it,
yeah,
Live Alive is how Nintendo pronounces it on their Nintendo Direct in the American version, whatever.
yeah.
Live Alive.
Live
And
alive.
apparently in the katakana spelling of it in the Japanese, it's pronounced Live Alive. So Live Alive.
Live alive. So I can't argue with that. You've gone straight to the source, Nintendo of America, and then you've also gone kana on me. So like I can't argue with that, right?
Yeah,
Um,
katakana sounds like a move, like a I don't know, some type of like finish him move.
yeah, straight out of like Mortal Kombat or something. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Um
Katakana wins or whatever. I don't know. But anyway,
Uh,
so yeah, so
yeah.
tell me about Live Alive. I've read a quick little Wikipedia on it. I've never
Mhm.
heard of it, nor have I wanted to play it yet. So, but
Yeah.
I do understand it's a role playing game and it's
Mhm.
done in like that 2D HD style.
Yeah.
Or is it 2D HD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the one, yeah.
So, and then, but other than that, I have no idea what the gameplay is about. Like,
Yeah. And
why do I want to play this game?
well, I can only tell you a very little because 'cause I've only got probably I'm still early on in this, right? You and I did
But is it keeping you excited?
it
Do you
is
want to
keeping
go
me
back to
excited.
play it?
It
Do
is
you want to like pick
absolutely
up your Switch and play it or
I
whatever
do.
you're playing it on?
I do, yeah, I'm playing it on my Switch too. I downloaded it a long time ago for the original Switch, and then, like a lot of people right now, we've gotten through Mario Kart World, and we're just like, "What else can I play on my Switch too?" So I'm going back
Yeah.
through my backlog. Um, but yeah, Live Alive, am I saying that right?
Live Alive.
Live Alive.
Live Alive. I forgot now.
See, that's the problem with this game.
Live Alive. No,
Live
it's
Alive.
yeah, Live Alive.
Live Alive.
Live Alive. No, Live Alive.
Live Alive. Tell us in the comments, listeners, every time we get it wrong, please, because we need your
It
help.
is Live Alive.
Live Alive. I will do my best to remember that, but I'm probably
It
gonna get it
doesn't
wrong.
matter. Say it.
Um, So Live Alive, from what I understand, and this, don't I'm not I haven't written the history on the game, but it was originally released on the Super Famicom in Japan, and it never got a Western release. But there were a lot of like, you know, people who in later years made like fan translations of the game and found a way to kind of translate it in English and then find different ways to play it. So you could, if you wanted to, actively go out and find a way to play Live Alive with, English translations. But then a few years ago, Nintendo, in partnership with Square Enix, announced that they were releasing it for the Switch in the 2D HD remake. And that 2D HD style, I think is just so beautiful. I think Square Enix really came up with something that is like just gives that hint of, like, super sorry, not that hint, that blast of nostalgia for, like, old pixelated graphics, but using that modern engine to do really beautiful lighting and really beautiful effects and, like, really great scaling. So, it's just this, like, wonderful marriage of, the pixelated graphics that I grew up with and absolutely love and adore, but with, like, modern twists on all of it. So that's one reason that I'm really drawn to it because I played other games in this with these graphic styles, but I think this one is really drawing me in the most.
Mhm. Yeah, there's something just I mean, it's just it gives you that nostalgia, but then also, like, this updated HD styles. It just is they're really cool. It's
Yeah.
really cool, like, the background, the scenery, that from what I've seen at least, it looks really good. The people look, still that sprite imagery
Yeah.
that I mean, that sprite look. But, yeah, I do enjoy it, and I can see that a lot of people would really like that. Just
Mhm.
the nostalgia feeling of playing something like that. But the game originally came out when?
Oh, it would have been, I think, in the '90s
But it got
during
a
the
remake, so yeah.
Super Famicom, yeah. Like,
Okay. Is it the
um,
same game or is it
I think it's from what I understand, it's exactly the same game, it's
okay.
just updated, obviously, they rebuilt it from the ground up and used new code and all that kinda stuff
Yeah.
or development tools, but it's the same it's apparently there's no changes to it. It's a faithful recreation of the original one. And the like so the structure of this particular game is unique and for a JRPG that I haven't come across before. I'm not the most, experienced in JRPGs, but effectively there are it's kind of broken up into 8 different chapters. And so you start the game and one of the first things you have to do is select which chapter you're going to play first. And each chapter is played through a main character of that chapter. So there's 8 chapters and 8 different main characters. And these chapters take place across like lots of across the universe, across different time periods, current time periods or whatever. So it's set in historical Edo, Japan, the distant future. It's set current time, the near future, prehistoric period, the Wild West, Imperial China, and then medieval. So in each of these periods, all of the characters you're playing are set in that period, and then all the surroundings and the characters and the fights that you take place or the story is really grounded in those different time periods. So you get to go like you get it really makes the game have a lot of different variety. It keeps you going like, "Oh, well, what's the next chapter that I'm gonna choose?" Right? And you can play them in any order you want to. You don't have to go in, like,
Oh,
any
okay.
particular order. You just select so if you wanna start with, the near future, you can. If you wanna start with the distant future, if you wanna go Wild West, that's totally fine.
Sure.
And each of your characters will have, um, uh, like, systems and mechanics that represent that time period. So the only one I've played at the moment is the current time, which is you play a character that's like a Street Fighter champion, right?
Okay.
And their goal is to be the best fighter in the world, effectively. It's a lot like, Street Fighter, if you will, that kind of concept. Um, but what you do is you you select your character and then within that chapter there is like a character select screen like you would have on a traditional fighting game. So then you choose like, okay, the first character I want to fight is a US wrestler. Okay, or there is a character who has like martial arts abilities, or there's a character who has, different abilities. I think there's like 6 of them within there. So you have to fight all these different characters,
And
but
this is all like turn-based,
uh-huh.
RPG combat.
Yeah, yeah. But they really have leaned into making it feel like a traditional fighting game of the '90s where it's like you're the main character and then you have to select who you're gonna fight against. I just caught that. That was a really cool thing. Yeah, and then as you select your different character, you select who you wanna fight, um, and let's say you start off fighting the wrestler. Well, the wrestler has a they each have their different set of moves and their special moves. And it's still turn based. So when it's your turn to go, you select from the few special moves that you have because you only start off with a couple. You select the one you wanna action, and then a grid base shows up on the screen, and you have to move your character to that grid, and then hope that it attacks um, the adversary or the wrestler if it's still within the grid space, right? So
Okay.
you're not always guaranteed just because you choose an action that it's going to hit the character. So you have to get strategic about like where are
Okay.
they based because your action might go at a diagonal or whatever, or it might go across, or it might go up, or something like that in the space of the fighting arena. But then let's say that character moves, then you're going to miss them, if you will,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So there is a lot of the strategy can get quite deep. But what's really
So
interesting
for
on
is the gameplay so what's the best part of this? Is the gameplay do you enjoy the gameplay, the dynamics, the mechanics of it, or is it the story you're there for? And are you trying to curious, like, how all these people are connected and through all this
Mm,
time, I don't know, this universe that they all exist, you know what I mean? What's the
yeah.
past and the present and the future? So I'm curious on that, but so it sounds very intriguing.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of what I like about in terms of the gameplay, again, I'm really early on. I've only played the one
Yeah, yeah,
chapter at
yeah.
the current time. But what was interesting about that mechanic is every time you beat a character, you then gain their special abilities. So it
Ah,
becomes a little bit like the Mega Man concept. Like if I was really
got it.
struggling with the wrestler at first, and then I went and fought someone else and I got a special ability that helped me beat the wrestler. So there is like, that was a really
Mhm.
interesting level of gameplay dynamic. And then the final character that you fight within that chapter is this huge boss that takes up half the screen. And then you need to strategically use all those special
Yeah,
abilities that you've won to beat that boss. So it really builds on itself. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that chapter. In terms of the story, that one wasn't like super deep, if you will,
true, yeah.
um, in terms of like the narrative. But I've just started the Imperial China one, which I feel like is going to have a little bit more depth to the story.
Yes, I mean,
Um,
how like a Street Fighter character, he's like, "I just wanna be the best in the world." So, like,
yeah,
you know, that's what
kind
it
of.
sounded like at
Yeah,
least.
it's exactly that's kind of how they position it, and then there's some nuance to that. Imperial China is starting off all good. I'm not too fully aware of the story there, but to your question about like how are all these things connected, I haven't read any spoilers or anything, but I do know that from what I've heard from other people talk about the game, they were like play every chapter because after you do that, there's an additional content that opens up that really brings it all together in a really interesting way, and also in a way that is really pushing what gameplay and story was doing back in that time in the '90s. So they were taking a lot of risks, and I can already feel that with this game. So I'm just really glad that they, not only did it get the 2D HD treatment, but they've also brought something to the West that was potentially locked away on the Super Famicom for only Japanese speaking and reading people. They've opened it up to a whole new audience, and that I'm one of them. So I think, early days.
That's cool.
No, 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 no. I can't give it a review score or anything at the moment, but early days, it's just already intriguing me because it's something different. They're trying new mechanics. They're trying something that isn't just the kind of, oh, you go in, you fight, you gain some skill points or some SP or whatever, and then you keep going along.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's each is distinct story chapters and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, watch
Interesting,
this.
yeah.
I'm gonna try and get through it either tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get through it by the end of the week, and I'll share some quick fire additional thoughts on it on the next episode. Because I think it shouldn't take too long to play. It shouldn't take you but more than like probably what 20 hours or so to get through. It's a sort of short and sharpest, I think,
We'll
JRPG.
see.
We'll see. Yeah. Famous last words. Does that happen to you when you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be able to finish this game," and then
I
suddenly you're up to
done.
4 a.m. when you thought
Oh my
you'd finish at,
god.
like, 11 and you're
How
like
many times have I started a game in the morning and then looked at the time, it's already, like, past dinner, and I'm like, "What the heck?"
yeah, exactly. What
Especially if I don't have anybody, like, monitoring me.
Yeah.
Like, if nobody's here at home alone, and they're, like, just like, "Oh, what did I just do with my day? Nothing."
Yeah,
So
that, like, gameplay
but not in
vortex.
this nothing. I, like that is great. Like,
Yeah.
I did this game, I mean, it's so good that, just I played it, and it's and yes, it may have identified my may I identify as a game now for the day, but, like, that's what I wanted to do, and leave me
Mhm.
alone. I can
Yeah,
enjoy my life.
totally. Yeah, I think that more
We
power
need days like that.
to yes, more power to just getting lost in a game and letting the sun rise and fall and maybe just eating potato
It's been
chips.
really hot here, and there's no point in going outside, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. Don't need an excuse. Shut the blinds.
I
It's
was
too
saving
hot.
my life from the sun, so and my heat. I didn't wanna be in a heat stroke, so
Uh, yeah, yeah, and it feels really good when a game sucks you in like that. You just go
it
like,
is, it
"Ooh, I wanna
does.
play more, I wanna play more, I wanna play more."
And it's like and when games do that, and then you try to find another game that to do it, and it doesn't hit the same, but when you
Mm.
get one, it's like, "Oh, here I am again, stuck in this black hole,
Yeah.
and I love it." So,
Yeah, just
anyway,
sidebar.
I'm yeah.
Oh, go on, finish your
No,
thought.
that's not I was
I
gonna
was just
say
gonna say
anything.
sidebar on that one. That whole, like, concept of, like, finishing a game, having the kind of emotional journey that you go on if, like, something that was really grabbed your attention and you have to, like, kind of work your way through, like, "Okay, what does that mean? Like, how do I really feel about it?" Process all of it. And then the journey of trying to find another game to play. I find that so fucking hard. So
Yes.
hard, right?
Okay, so sidebar.
Yeah.
This still happens to me to this day. So Breath of the Wild, for example, is one
Uh-huh.
of those games that I just played nonstop every day, wherever I was. I had it on my Switch, took it with me everywhere I went.
Yeah.
To this day, I still like I'll be looking like off my balcony. I'm like, "Oh, why can't I just paraglide over there right now? I just want to get a burger. Can I just please paraglide to the store?" Well, I go like, why this I mean, he made it look so easy. Why does Link make it look so easy? And when I wanna do it, no, it's dangerous. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna get electrocuted in a power line. I don't know. So I'm just like and every day, it's something like today I thought that. I was like, "Oh, if I could just paraglide." And I am because I finished the game, and you don't really finish Breath of the Wild. You can still
No.
just go in there and do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm still living in that mindset because I was
Mhm.
trapped in this game. I have like clocked over 200 hours in this game. I'm like, and so I'm just like, I want to just paraglide away and just explore and that sense of exploration and stuff. It's just,
Yeah.
anyway, it stays with you forever.
I I love the image of you just
I
going,
think about
"Fuck
it
it,
all
I
the
want some
time.
McDonald's." Jumping off your balcony, paragliding through the drive-through, grabbing your double quarter pounder or whatever it
Hmm.
is, your fries, sitting down next to a Korok, and then just munching away on your burger. That is, that's so stupid. I love it.
But we need a mode of transportation that can do that because and safely.
Yeah, and safely. I mean, yeah, there are people who just, like, jump off mountains and do that. Like, that's just, like
Yes, but there's nothing really in their way except for nature. Whereas here, it's like, there's, like, cars and stuff
yeah.
and power lines or whatnot.
Mhm, mhm.
Well,
Yeah. Yes, good advice, gamers. Don't jump off your balcony with a paraglider unless you're highly trained and skilled and a stunt professional and you know what you're doing, then
exactly.
yeah. Um, yeah, I love that, Mike. That's just too funny. I love it. Like, "Where's Mike?" He's jumped off the balcony again.
It's
Right.
paragliding
He's
away.
paragliding.
I had dreams about this. It is how I like it's never mind, I'm done with this
But that's
conversation, it's
again
too
but
deep.
that's a point, right? Games can really take a hold of you and, like, get so deep in your psyche, it's like a really good book or, like, a really good
Yes,
movie if you still think about it
and
and it
when it
actually,
ends, it's
like
like it's sad.
yeah, for sure, for
It's
sure.
like you have to go through a grieving moment.
Mhm, and you're almost like you have to go through that grieving moment, and anything, like, I've heard other gamers talk about it, like, if you especially if you play, like, a big open world like Zelda, you need the palate cleanser, right? You need something small and little that you
Yeah.
can jump in that's completely different just to kind of, like, shake that out of your brain, and then you'll be more open to, what's the next big thing that's gonna grab your attention and dive into. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, like patapum, patapum.
Mhm,
Get it
mhm.
out of here. Just something new.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, we'll see. It is yeah, like I said, Live Alive, I think I got the name right, is grabbing my attention. So I'm gonna get stuck into it. And it's doing that wonderful thing where you start to think about like, oh, sometimes less is more with storytelling, right? You're not given everything. So you kind of have to fill in the gaps a little bit. And I'm really
Okay.
curious to see, to your question, how are all these things connected? Because I already know, I'm gonna start doing that thing where I try to, like, try to guess what's gonna
Got it.
happen, so I think that's gonna be a lot of fun in playing the game too. Um,
And I wonder if anything's lost in translation as well.
ooh, I mean, I'll never know.
You'll never know.
I'll never know. I'll never know.
And that's okay, as long as you
Uh,
enjoy it.
if there's any, Japanese speaking listeners out there who have played Live Alive, the original and this new one, is there anything that's lost? Let us know, if that is,
Because some of those characters, kanji characters, they have like a huge meaning in this one little,
yeah.
and then you're like, oh. So anyway,
Good question. All right. Yeah. So a quick round on what we've been playing. As Mike alluded to at the start, we've been busy the last couple of weeks, so I haven't had a chance to play any games. So I was just sneaking that one in before we started. But we'll definitely have more games to talk about in upcoming episodes, which we'll tell you about more because we want to get you involved and get your thoughts on a game that we're gonna start playing over this next week. But before that, let's head over to the newsroom, Mike.
the
You were saying
newsroom.
there's been some stuff going on recently in the news that you wanted to just explore in this
Nothing like
episode.
crazy, but I mean, this is crazy. So I'm a part of I'm not a big on social media, but sometimes I catch myself scrolling and
Mhm.
I've stumbled upon some people breaking their Joy-Cons joystick off of their Nintendo Switch 2, and it concerns me, and I mainly play dock mode right now, but I
Mm.
do wanna play handheld
Yeah.
here and there when I travel, and so, like, literally, like, the joystick is not just, like it just, like, the plastic, like, broke off, like, you broke a piece of plastic, and it's like, you can't repair that,
Oh my
and so,
gosh.
I don't think super glue would do the trick either, but the one person said that their child was, um they were cleaning and they didn't realize that their child got a hold of knocked the switch off TV stand and fell on the floor. All it did was fall on the floor and break the Joy-Con, so,
Mm.
just snapped it, and then, the joystick, and then and then so what was funny about that, because I just remember, like, a couple weeks ago, someone posted a picture of their Joy-Con snapping as well, like, the joystick on the Joy-Con snapping off, and I'm like, "Oh, crap," that's what really concerns me. I'm like, "I don't know,
Yeah.
like, are these things gonna be, stable?" And, like, I don't know, that's not gonna be covered under warranty, so
Well, yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. I mean, who knows? Like, but this is another example of the Joy-Con is such a great innovation, like in terms of how we engage with the Switch and the Switch 2. Um, And and there was such controversy still around them using the Hall effect. Is it Hall effect?
not using it.
By not using the Hall effect, that's right. And I think people have confirmed that they haven't used Hall effect on the
It's
Switch
their
too.
own proprietary kind of
Yeah, yeah. And
technology.
but that's what's caused the drift. So, in your Switch 1 and possibly Switch 2, only time will tell.
Yeah, we
You've
won't
a
know.
Yeah, you've got the danger of potential Joy-Con drift, and now you've got this one that feels. So let me just be super clear. So the actual
Do you
joystick
wanna
that
see
you
the picture? I
control the
can just
characters
upload it.
with, so it's the stick that that you're controlling the characters with, it actually just snapped in half. So there's no way for you to move the character around anymore, as effectively as what's happened, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, I suspect that this is probably not going to be a kind of, uh, widespread problem with the
Mhm.
Joy-Con, but,
So
like,
that's what I
even if
thought as
it's
well, but I've seen 2 posts already,
oh,
like,
no.
within a week of each other, and one person said that they were just who knows if they would maybe they were just trying to go, get some clickbait or something, but they
Right.
were playing and then just snapped the Joy-Con on the right side. This is both on the right ones for the ones I've seen
Oh, on
too.
the right. Oh,
On the
okay.
right, it just
Interesting.
snapped
Okay.
off, and I'm like, "Were you playing Smash?" And just, like, going crazy with like the
Right, right, right.
I'm just like, or we just had were you just raging? Because 'Cause I'm like, "Am I that rough with my Joy-Cons? I don't know." So,
Oh, but it's gonna
anyway,
actually
be
but
careful is all I'm saying, so
well, but that bit that kind of well, I'm glad, good PSA out there, right? But, like,
yeah,
I but now that you said that, like, how I'm it's 'cause psychologically, I'm gonna have it in my head that I've gotta be really careful with my Joy-Con,
you
and it's gonna
gots to.
actually, like, interrupt my ability to just kind of chill and relax with the Switch 2 when I'm playing it portably, or make me start going like, is it a best portable system, right? Like, should you be taking this out and playing it portably, or do you run the risk of it being this whole, like, broken mess of a purchase? Like, that's just coconuts, coconuts.
Coconuts.
But I would hope that, it's still within sort of
Alright,
manufacturer's warranty, right? That you can,
can you see
um
that? This is what happened. This is the second
oh,
picture I've seen.
no. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, and they also need a vacuum because come on now, like, that's I don't know what is going on, but that is so dirty.
Oh,
They said they
no.
were cleaning,
Oh, right, okay, that's
and
fair
then this
enough. So they
happened.
were in the
So,
process. I ain't shaming
but I
nobody.
like, you just stopped cleaning, and then I hope you stopped cleaning, took a picture
Oh,
immediately
sugar.
because you didn't do a good job cleaning there. But
How funny. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, yeah, that's pretty bad. So it's like, it must be that something's faulty with the top of the joystick connecting to the
Or, I
oh,
mean, if you apply enough pressure to anything, it will snap.
yeah,
So,
that's true. That's
I
true.
mean, I snap sometimes, you give it a little pressure, so watch out. Don't mess with me.
Rage Maldi coming on out. I'm gonna break shit. I'm gonna break shit.
In other gaming news,
Go on, what's the next one?
so be careful with your Joy-Cons,
Yeah.
just in case,
Or
because
have you
we
broken
are the
one?
guinea pigs right now. It's been a month, about a month, and we are
Yeah.
the guinea pig with the Switches to Switch 2s. So,
Mhm, mhm.
um, other gaming news, it has been confirmed that Donkey Kong Bonanza, um, has is the it's the same team behind Mario Odyssey. So,
Right,
that
yeah.
is exciting because we love Mario Odyssey.
Mhm.
One of the best games
Yeah.
for Nintendo Switch 1.
Like,
So,
ever.
ever.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Breath of the Wild, but Breath of the Wild is my number 1, but yes, Mario Odyssey was hours of entertainment as well, so
Oh, man. Yeah. So, okay, so this is interesting because I think Nintendo, like, over the past few years has actually actively not, like, led with studios who have made the game, and I think there's been some people and circles that have felt like this is a bit, uncool because there you wanna give, like, recognition to the people in the studio who helped create the game, but then there's other camps that think, "Well, Nintendo just wants Nintendo games to be Nintendo games." So for
mhm.
them, it's not who cares which
Who cares
studio
who
made it,
what
right?
team did it? It
Right.
is all Nintendo.
And I think probably for the most people who don't listen to podcasts like this, they don't give a shit about which studio made it, right? But, like, people who do listen to gaming podcasts like ours, we want to know that because it allows you to, like, quickly shortcut the pedigree. Like, is this going to be a well-made game, or is this going to be more of a B list, or you know what I mean? Um, so they've come out and they said that that's good news. That's great news. That's great
Yeah,
news. I mean,
it's great news because, the game so Mario Odyssey is a game that literally was like it was intuitive, you just got in it, you played it, and it just made sense, like,
mhm,
everything worked, and it was difficult, but it wasn't too difficult. I mean, it was enjoyable, and so so that Donkey Kong Bonanza looks like it's gonna be enjoyable. It looks like it's
mhm,
more complicated, in some way.
yeah,
Um, it's exciting. That's all. I'm excited for it, and
hmm,
I enjoy it. If I enjoyed a game a team made, then
yeah,
I'll probably enjoy another game they make. So
yeah, totally. And excite. What were your? Does this change your excite levels, Mike? Now that you know
yeah,
this, okay.
I mean, I freaking like the trailer. Like all I had to see was Paulina singing, and I was excited. So Pauline singing,
Yeah.
and I was super excited.
Mhm. Yeah, and I could imagine, like, when did this team at some point, because so they made, Jump Up Superstar, the song that was in Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
So when did this team then suddenly go, "Hold on a minute, that song's sick. Let's make a Donkey Kong game." You know what I mean? Like, how did
Let's
they
do
make
let's
that
let
leap? Like,
yeah,
that's
l
just bonkers.
they're like, "Well" they were like, "Okay, so Pauline was, in Odyssey,
Yeah.
so let's go ahead and since we did Odyssey, let's go ahead and put Pauline in this game too, but let's
Mhm.
make her, like, a main character in
Yeah.
this one,
Yeah,
and then she
definitely.
can sing, and her singing does damage too, so, like
Mhm. Yeah.
and awaken something, and let's make her a rock."
But all of those things, like, you say all of that stuff like, outside the context of the Super Mario Odyssey team making a game
Odyssey?
Mario Odyssey? Super Mario Odyssey team making a game. You said all those things outside of that context, I'd be like, "What the hell is that? What the hell is this game
What are
about?"
you
But
talking
you say it
about?
in this context, and I'm like, "Cool, bring it on." I
Yeah.
totally trust them. Like, you can do whatever you want and do no wrong. And I think, definitely, I'm like, I'm already hyped for Donkey Kong Bonanza, but for me, like, this makes me go like, "Oh, fuck yeah. We getting some good shit now. This is gonna be real good."
It's
Um,
exciting.
yeah. And do you know what? Do you know what I like about this as well? Like, zooming out from just this game, I really like that Nintendo allows these teams to not get stuck doing the same thing, right? Like, with Naughty Dog and PlayStation, the only thing Naughty Dog can do is make fucking Last of Us games, and they can't even make a new one because they're making remakes of the first one, the second one, like, over how many remakes of that have they made? And poor Neil Druckmann, who created the game, has moved on to make, the TV series and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But, like, if, corporate shareholder video game people, you do one good thing, they're like, "Just do more of that, please." And Nintendo is, like, allowing these creative artists to go, "Okay, you did a great thing with Mario Odyssey. Let's see what else you can go be creative with." And in some way, I think that's kind of, a secret sauce for Nintendo that they allow them to do that. I think that's really, really cool, and it, gives me excitement for what other studios within Nintendo are coming up with new things that we don't even
Yeah.
know about,
I was
right?
excited.
Yeah, really
Also,
cool.
another thing I've read in gaming news, recently, and hopefully I get this right because it's all coming from the back of my head now, um, about game key cards. Game key cards, how
Uh-huh.
stupid they are and how the sales for third-party games have dropped
Mhm.
drastically,
Mhm.
um, whereas so in Switch 1 had no third party support really because they were like, "Oh, well, let's see how this
At
works
the
before we
launch,
all come
right?
out yeah, at the launch."
Yeah.
And then they were all behind and because it was doing so well, and so they
Mhm.
missed out on all this, like, profit in the beginning. So
Mhm.
now Nintendo then, like, got them back and said, "Okay, so now they are here at launch, third party games, but they're dropping because
Right.
of game key cards." And what I read was Nintendo, only allows 64 gigabyte game key cards game cards, physical cards
Uh-huh.
right now. They don't because and for Switch 1, you can buy the third-party developers can do, like, 10 gigabyte, 5 gigabyte, whatever, 20 gigabyte card, but right now it's only 64 gigabytes for these
Oh,
cards.
right. So if you have a
Like
smaller
Mario
game, you still have
exactly,
to
and
pay for all
you
this,
still have to
but
pay for all this,
okay,
exactly, which
okay,
is why,
okay.
like, a $15 game, well, they're gonna have to pay, like, $10, $15 for a game card, that's no point. So then now they have these game key cards that are nothing, they're just little things you put in to make the game work,
Mhm.
and then it downloads it from the internet. So, I've been reading that the shareholders now, somebody had stood up and asked, like the president of Nintendo, at one of the meetings, was like, "What the fuck? Like, why? What is going on with these game key cards? Why are the third party sales tanking? Because people want physical. It's known for it.
Yeah.
I want physical games. I
Yeah.
get sad when I buy a digital game,
Mhm.
but I want physical games, and so we'll see, maybe something will change here, but I do remember reading that one of the shareholders asked it publicly and Nintendo beat around the bush, but they're not blind to this, and now that the shareholders are getting
Mhm.
upset, that may make a change for this because Nintendo should offer smaller cards for
Yes.
the third party developers to create.
Yeah.
games because people do I want physical. People like with Nintendo, I don't feel like it with any other system, Xbox,
Yeah.
PlayStation, I'm not collecting those things.
Mm-mm.
Nintendo, they make collectibles, they make
Yeah.
amiibos, they make things that you are tangible that you wanna keep, and for some reason, people want Nintendo because so it's so desirable and collectible. So,
Yep.
yeah. So we love our Game
Mm.
Geek cards, that's all. I forgot about
Mm.
that, that's another news I wanted to pop in there.
Yeah, that's really good because, I think this is interesting to see this play out because I know that when the game key cards were announced, there was already a little bit of like, "Ooh, this feels a
That's
little bit
weird.
shisty." Um, and, if it's now having the ripple effect where, third party, developers have gone down this game key card route because it's the most economically viable, then
Mhm.
Nintendo has a duty as the sort of as the designer of this and the owner of those gatekeep cards. Like, it feels like they need to get smaller ones out really quickly, so that there are options, right? And
Yeah.
better for consumer, better for publisher. Um, but but at the same time, like, does Nintendo really need to do that? Is Nintendo sat there, like, really caring if said, third-party publisher goes, "I'd love a 16-bit one," because that's a cost to Nintendo to go away and create that, and how many of those are they actually
Yeah.
gonna sell?
I mean, yes, it's true, but the fact that a shareholder,
Yeah.
which I feel like most companies, even like my company, I feel like they don't care about the consumer, they don't care about the employee
Mhm.
as much, but when shareholders get mad, then they're like, "Okay, now we start to
Yeah.
care."
Money
So,
talks, right? Money
money
talks,
talks.
yeah.
So,
That's interesting. I hadn't appreciated that a shareholder for Nintendo has been like, "This is, potentially a damaging thing
yeah, and this is
reputationally."
like I wish I could find the article, but it was somebody pretty like I mean, somebody who's
Important.
at the meeting and their voice
Yeah.
matters. So,
Yeah. I think this could go one of 2 ways. I think the way I would like it to go is Nintendo backtracks on the game key cards and says, "Actually, we read the room wrong. We're still gonna have them for people who wanna use them, but we now have smaller cards available for those publishers who wanna just put the full game on there," right? Um
we like things. I like to have things.
yeah, exactly. Because then, you play this out 10, 15 years down the line when Switch 2 is already, come and gone. How
Mhm.
much longer are those games gonna be able to download, right? Even if
And
it's a
be
GameCube
supported.
and be supported, right? So then, if 20 years down the line you wanna pop in whatever third-party game that's not fully on that card,
When
are you
I'm
still gonna be
80
able to download it,
when
right?
I'm 80, I said, "This is one of my favorite games I used to play. It's called" and thank God, it's called Cyberpunk.
Mhm. Well, that one's a
Look,
full
you
game,
can
right?
choose your penis
Exactly,
size. Did you
exactly.
know that? I'm sorry, that's news to me, by the way. I did not know you could choose your genital size in
Yes.
Cyberpunk 2077. Like,
Yes.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I am aware
I
of
was
that.
stuck on that screen for like 30 minutes.
I would love to do a sidebar topic on that when we talk about our review of Cyberpunk in the future on this
Oh,
too.
Lord.
Yes, I did know that, and I think more power, more games should allow you to choose how big your junk is. I think
That
that
was
just
crazy. I'm
really
like, when will it
empowers
show
the
up in the
player.
game? And now I'm excited.
Um, oh gosh, I don't know if I can remember because I've played about halfway through it, but it's been a while. I put it down. There you go. Well, good, Mike.
Uh,
Empower junk empowerment, right?
Junk
Is how it
empowerment.
should be. Yeah, watch the space on those game key cards because I'm not planning on ever buying one. I'd rather just buy the digital version and not have the faff of some piece of plastic that,
That is a huge fact.
yeah. Like, what the hell is that about? I only want it if it's fully on the card. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm not paying you all this money for a piece of plastic. I want the actual, data
exactly.
on the card. Do you hear us, Nintendo? Addison Gamey says, "Get your shit together. Get it together. Don't no
Us and
game
our
key cards."
644 subscribers.
Yes. On our way to
Thank you for
1,000.
subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing. On our way. Come on, help us get to 1,000. Um,
What's next in
what's
news?
next on the news? So one of the things I wanted to that stood out for me is there was a few bunch of things going around because a person who worked on the original Xbox says that basically the Xbox hardware is going to die. This
Mhm.
is from Laura Fryer, who is one of the founding members of Xbox. Helped create the hardware I think during the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 era. And Laura's got her own YouTube channel where she talks about this stuff. So I'd encourage people to go and find that, and really hear it from the horse's mouth, because I think, you know, it's a really interesting place, I think, from what does this mean? And I started thinking about what does this mean for gaming, right? And this is
Mhm.
kind of connected to the game key cards that you were just talking about, Mike. And then what does the next 10 years look like for gaming? Because, you know, I think, well, in summation, what they're talking about is that, the latest bit of hardware that's been announced by Xbox is actually in partnership with the ASOS ROG Xbox Ally. That's a full thing to say. Like, that's really
All I
tripping
heard
off the
was
tongue.
raw, so
Exactly. ROG,
oh,
ROG.
dang
Mike,
it.
get your head out of the
Raw
gutter.
I heard raw dog. Rog. I don't know. That's how it that's
The
I
Raw
use
Dog
ROG
Ally.
I use ROG as a short for raw dog, an acronym, if you will, or whatever. I'm rogging
Well,
it.
from now on, I'm only gonna be able to call it the Raw Dog Ally, so that's what it is from now on. Much easier to say.
Yeah.
Um, but, what this means is that Asus is building all the hardware, right? And it's a handheld like the Steam Deck, which you can obviously play on
Mhm.
your TV or your monitor, and the same way that you can with Switch.
So it's a Switch competitor.
Yeah, exactly, it is. And but the difference here is because Asus ROGs they have several of them out already, and this will be their latest iteration. But in partnership with Xbox, Xbox is doing all the software for it. And there's a few things on the system itself that make it feel like you're playing more of an Xbox in that ecosystem. For example, like on the Xbox controller, you have the main Xbox button, which takes
Mhm.
home screen and kind of all that. There's a similar button here, and it looks like the software on the Xbox, ROG Ally, ugh, I'm gonna mess that up a lot, uh, has similar layouts to what you'd expect on a traditional Xbox Microsoft made hardware.
So it's familiar.
Yeah, it's familiar,
And then it can play Steam games and all that too.
from what I understand, so you're not just locked into Xbox, you're also locked you can have your Steam Deck, you can also have PC games,
Oh.
which blurs the line between, like, Xbox already is kinda PC anyway, so it's
Yeah,
kinda just a
yeah.
natural kind of evolution. Um,
So it's just it is the shell, and then the software is what creates it or whatever,
yeah, I mean,
basically.
they're doing all the insides, Asus is creating all the insides, the
Okay.
hardware, the motherboard, all that kinda good stuff. And then, yeah, Microsoft is building the software, which, in some way is kind of full circle for Microsoft. They're a software first company anyways, like,
Okay. Yeah,
so
because they don't make computers. They don't make,
mm,
like, the actual
they
computer to put their Windows like, my Lenovo does not is not Microsoft, it's Lenovo, my
Exactly.
PC.
They dabble in that a little bit, like, they have their Surface computers, which is like a
Oh, they
laptop
do have
stroke keyboard,
Surface,
which
yeah.
is but it's never really taken off, and nor did remember the Windows Phone when they tried to do that, and then that didn't take off 'cause
I do remember
Microsoft bought
that.
Nokia at one point, and they wanted to, like, pool all of
Nokia?
they bought them.
You mean I've always said Nokia.
Nokia's I've heard it I've lived over in the UK for so long, I think that's how they say it
Oh,
over
is
here,
that like Adidas and
Adidas?
Adidas?
I think it's that. Yeah, it's exactly that. Um, so Nokia or Nokia or
I
wherever
like
you are in the
Nokia.
world, was bought by Microsoft at some point because they wanted to go into the Windows Phone. And then that we saw what happened there, right? It just died another death. Like, it's
Yeah.
like it's like why can't Microsoft just like stick to it? I mean, I guess they have all these billions of dollars. They're such a profitable company. They can take these risks and it's just a drop in the bucket to them. Um, but I guess it's just another example that Microsoft is going full on subscription service. We know this has been the journey that they've gone on, but they've also said that they're partnering with AMD to create new hardware.
Ooh.
So what does this mean? It's just now getting really confusing, and they're not doing themselves any favors. I mean, they're shooting themselves in the foot left, right, and center because I like my Xbox. I have an Xbox Series
Mhm.
X behind us, and in the bedroom I have a Series S, and it's really great just to be able to pick up both, use them for Game Pass, quickly download something. I love Game Pass. It's fantastic. But and I like the ease and pick up and play of doing that through a console. I'm never going to do it on PC because there's all this faff that you have to have of like new graphics cards and all that kind of stuff. I'm never gonna get into that. Um,
But that's how I do it.
yeah, you would probably do really well in a Microsoft ecosystem if outside of the console space. So maybe this is perfect for someone like you, right? You're like, I don't
Yeah, I
care
mean, I usually
where it's
always
at.
update my computer to the I always get the latest gaming graphics card and
Mhm.
this and that with my computer because I don't wanna be behind. And my computer now is, like, 4 years old, and it's still, like, one of the best ones, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Maybe that's the way gaming is going, right? The console, possibly the Switch. We've got the Switch 2, right? It's just launched. It's doing well in terms of sales initially, but how much longer are consoles going to be around? If like even Nintendo's
Yeah,
going all digital, you just think like, do we need a device built just to play games? I mean, I hope so. I love consoles. I really love
yeah.
console
But,
gaming.
I
I
mean,
want
is
that
it
to stick
just
around.
okay, like your Switch, like, you could just plug it, just put it on the dock, and then boom,
Yeah,
it's a console.
yeah. I mean, and how much more? But this if Microsoft is able to convince Nintendo to put Game Pass on the Switch too, then I think for me that means they're completely out of the console business or the hardware business because like
Okay.
that's their modus operandi. That's their business right now. Let's get people subscribed to Game Pass. Let's get that everywhere. There was those ads going around that everything's an Xbox. Have you seen that? I think maybe it was more in the
Mhm.
US, but like you can literally play Xbox on everything from your phone. You
Yeah.
can stream it on your phone, on your
Can't you,
iPads,
like,
or
play it on, like, your Fire TV or whatever?
yeah, exactly. It's
Or play
everywhere.
something on your Fire TV, there's games available.
So it's like it feels like Microsoft is in this like weird limbo period of either maybe they have to make these consoles because they had an agreement with AMD already previously that they have to commit to, which means they're just going to do it and get it out and be done with it. Or maybe they still think that, they have numbers. They know they see the numbers. Maybe some people are still buying them. Who knows? But it just feels really confusing. And it makes me think like, you know, why? Why would anybody wanna get an Xbox? Or why would anybody really think, Microsoft is, someone you wanna invest your money into at the moment in terms of hardware? It just yeah, it's just weird to me, and it just puts gaming in such a weird place, right? I mean
It is. It's, like, interesting to see where this will all go.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know.
Well, Microsoft is putting games on every system, right? There's loads of Microsoft games, Studios games on the Nintendo at the moment, on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 coming out. They're putting them on PlayStation 5s, like Indiana Jones was recently just released on it. Um, and what does this mean for PlayStation, right? Like
Yeah.
that for me is going to be really interesting because I think Nintendo sort of sits in its own little bubble, right? They have all their own IP. They can really just build off the wonderful foundation of creating quality games, IPs that people love, their theme park stuff, their movies. Like they've really created something more than just games, right? They've expanded. And PlayStation's doing that a bit with TV and things. But in terms
And
of like,
Nintendo has that following, so
yes.
they have,
Oh
like,
yeah.
the people who are just like me, like, I
Yeah,
love Nintendo, and
exactly.
so, just the logo gets me excited. So,
Yeah.
like but, like, Xbox, like, their identity outside of Halo is what?
Oh. Gears of War,
Gears of War,
Halo. Now they own Call of
Sims? Well, that's Microsoft or what? I don't know.
I don't
Or that's
think it is.
EA,
No, that's
but,
EA, yeah. I mean,
'cause, like, what else is there?
they own now Activision, which is Call
Uh,
of Duty, which is the biggest selling franchise, right? So
oh, yeah.
their ability to kind of buy up all these studios and then put them under the Xbox umbrella is gonna make them the largest game publisher in the world. I think they probably are at the moment. Um, so, but PlayStation's still sitting over here with this. Like you say, like people who started playing on PlayStation 1, they are diehard. PlayStation people
Yeah.
are so diehard. And the same way that we are as like Nintendo fans. Like Nintendo can do no wrong, PlayStation can do no wrong. Um, so, it's just a fascinating thing to see all of this change. I I'm less emotionally attached to Microsoft. So actually it's kind of interesting to see them like push the industry in a different way. They have to carve their own path through subscription models and then all of this now like licensing out their software to, make it feel like more of an Xbox ecosystem on the ROG Ally or whatever. But it's just going to be a really interesting thing to see how this plays out. And even what the new hardware looks like that they've announced with AMD, it just seems like, what's the fucking point? Why are they doing it? Stop it. Just don't. Um, I don't know. But are you going to subscribe to Game Pass soon, aren't you?
Today
What?
or tomorrow, I don't
They
know.
got you? They got
I'm
you?
gonna do it because 'cause
Okay.
we're gonna play the game. Well, okay,
Yeah.
what's the next news thing we had to say?
No,
Wait, wait, wait,
that's
we're
it for
oh, that
news.
was it.
That was everything for news. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
Um,
then, well, yeah, since we're on the subject, I mean, our next playthrough we're gonna do.
yeah, connect so well, there you go. So, like, someone like you doesn't need an Xbox, you can just
I
use
don't.
your computer to
I
log
have a
into Game
controller.
Pass. You got a controller, you can pretty much use any of them. And, because we were talking about we wanna play South of Midnight together and talk about
South of
that.
Midnight, yeah.
Yeah, and that's on Game Pass, and right now Game Pass is killing it. Like, there's South of Midnight.
Rumor is they're raising the,
Yeah,
price,
that's gonna
so
definitely happen because they can't expand the number of subscribers, so they have to increase the money that's coming in, just like all
well, I mean, I'm about to
okay.
subscribe and I haven't,
Well, if you
so
do now, listen out there, everybody subscribe so they can keep the price down. Um, because now suddenly
like and
we
subscribe to us too,
yeah,
please.
like,
We're free to
subscribe
it's
to
free to
us
do
for
for
free.
us.
Yeah, we're never gonna put prices up on you. Um yeah. So I think, you are the type of person that I think Microsoft really wants to capture your attention of. So I'd be really curious once you do subscribe and you see all the games on Game Pass and the value it has. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the future
I'm
episode.
just worried because I get sucked into a game, and
Mm,
a lot of times the games I like to play are, like, replayable games, like,
mhm,
they're games that I will go in and explore and get lost and just enjoy my life, and but, like, I don't really play multiple games at one time, and
mhm.
doing this podcast has made me play, like, "Oh gosh, I have to play more games, more games, more games."
Yeah.
And so, like, for example, I can play Sims, and I can play Sims for, like, ever, and I will never, ever
Mhm.
get bored of it.
Mhm.
So, so is that worth a subscription? No, but it's worth just buying the game. But,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to try new games out, and I'm excited to see what it does have to offer. So,
I
we'll see.
think I think that's the secret sauce of Game Pass that
As
I've
long
loved
as I play
because
one new game a month, I think it'd be worth it because
even
just
if
one
you
game a month is like 60 to 70 to anywhere from 30 to $70, and
exactly.
it's what, $12 a month or something. So
Something like that, yeah. So yeah, totally. So you can definitely get your fill, and in some way, we could do a whole year of a podcast just playing, Game Pass games because there's so many. We would
there's a
have enough
lot.
content to talk about, and we wouldn't have to ever buy any new ones. I think ain't gonna happen because we love Nintendo too much. But, like, yeah, I'll
True.
be really interested to see what you think. It can be overwhelming, so when you start, you'll be like,
I'm
"Oh my god,
already
there's so many
overwhelmed.
games," like
I'm
but,
already
like,
overwhelmed.
I think just
Just going to the website, I got overwhelmed.
yeah. Yeah, but the real value, it's like day 1 games, like South of Midnight, brand new game from Microsoft Studios, under their umbrella, and you can play it right away from day 1. Expedition Claire Obscura 33, the hot new RPG that I'm gonna play after South of Midnight, day 1 on Xbox, right? So effectively, you don't have to pay for anything else, you just your subscription to have all these,
Yeah.
like, fucking great games. So it is, it is amazing. It is amazing.
So
Yeah.
viewers, if you do and listeners, if you do want to play with us
Mm,
on South of Midnight, I
yeah,
suggest starting now. And we'll talk about that on our next podcast, probably next week.
yeah, next week.
So
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna hunker down and just focus on that one game. We'll do a full spoiler cast for South of Midnight, our thoughts, on all of it, and then, yeah, send in your thoughts if you've played it, but we'll remind you at the end of
yeah,
the episode as well, too.
send us your thoughts. That'd be
Have
awesome.
you played South of Midnight? What do you think? Is it great? I think it's
I'm
gonna be good.
excited because I love New Orleans, and I
Yeah.
know it takes place with that voodoo and hoodoo, that voodoo that you do and whatever. So, like, shoot pad do. I do wanna play it 'cause I love anything that isn't
Mm.
that can't really happen in real life, knock on wood. But, like, I love mystery, I love I love powers.
Mhm.
So and this trailer just got me. I was like, "Ooh, I love it."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the animation style, the lore of it,
yeah, the
drawing
lore,
on
that's
a
big.
place in because a lot of America's really diverse, of course, but there is like but New Orleans lore in that kind of area is really specific and really magical and mystical and stuff.
Exactly,
So I
yeah.
can't, as you say, I can't wait to see how they kind of use that to kind of create the world with it. And obviously, like gaming. How many games are made by people of color for with that like authenticness and stuff? There's so
Mhm.
much excitement for me to kind of jump into it and really
Yeah,
see what they come up with. But
it looks good.
look,
I'm excited to hear the music. I'm
hmm
excited to hear the accents. I'm excited
yeah,
to hear about, like, see some culture, and it's gonna be cool.
yeah.
So
Oh, good. I'm getting excited to talk about that with you. All right, yeah. So that'll be on the next episode. So yeah, definitely play South of Midnight. Email us at gamers at outofsyncgaming.co.uk if you have played it. What did you think? Share your thoughts because we'll read those on the episode. as well. But we've got one more segment, before we round out this episode.
Something fun, something
Something fun
silly.
and something stupid. I can't wait to see where this goes, because I have thoughts, but who knows what pops in your head. So, yeah, Mike, you came up with this idea, based on, Pauline's, hitting the spotlight, coming up with
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Bonanza. So you wanted to go through, what other Mario characters in the Mario universe
In
deserve
the Mario
deserve a
universe.
glow up, deserve their kind of moment in the spotlight.
They need their own game. Like, what characters do we need to have their own game?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And we're just gonna think about all of those characters, what the game could be about. Everything's on the table. Yeah. So you wanna kick us off,
Yeah,
Mike?
so, I've always was like Rosalina. Rosalina, she's like most mysterious character. Like, she's this
Mhm.
this immortal being who who as a child found a Luma, and like her mom died or something, and I don't know, but she's now living in in the galaxies, and all she does now is like play soccer, play golf, and then play board games on what is it called?
Oh, a
Mario
Mario
Party,
Party. Is she a
and
character
race
in Mario
cars.
Kart World? Oh, she's on Mario Kart World.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and race cars.
yeah.
And by the way, in the last Mario Kart, her weight class was on the same level as Bowser and, Wario, and she was like a super heavyweight. So, like, for driving, and I'm just
Alright.
like, is that because, like, she's dense? Like, she's so dense from the who knows how much she weighs because she's lived in outer space. And so, but anyways, I would love to have, like, a Rosalina glow up and have her have her own title, her
Yes.
own game,
Yes.
and, without Mario and have it origin stories, like
Mm.
I know in Mario Super Galaxy, whatever it's called, Mario Galaxy,
Mhm.
Super Mario Galaxy,
Yeah.
she does have a story of where she came from and how she's came to be the
Yeah.
caretaker for the Lumas and whatnot, but, like, I want that backstory, and
Yeah.
I want her to be like, I don't know, I want her to have her big bad, and I think it would be really cool if she had
Yeah.
some
Well,
type of game.
yeah, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead and finish that thought.
No, you're fine. Some
Yeah.
type of game. I don't know. Make it like Tomb Raider. Make her badass. Like I want to see something. I want to see something good happen, Rosalina.
There is, yeah, I think, and you know what, going on, like, the mysteriousness of Rosalina, it is even in the character design because her hair goes over her eye, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So there is, like,
and she's always like floating, even on Earth.
yeah, yeah,
So when she's
exactly.
racing her Mario Kart, she's like floating on top of her scooter. I'm
Yeah,
like, how's
she's
she doing
so
that?
graceful, she's just got this, like, etherealness about her, and,
Yes.
that weight class thing is real. I'd never clocked that. I mean, like,
Oh
what is
yeah.
she's like she maybe is the physical reincarnation of a black hole, and maybe that's why she's, like, so dense, I guess. I don't know. So that'd be who knows? I am not an astrophysicist. I am a player of video games. Um, but then, like, picking up on that story that, because yeah, you referenced the part in Super Mario Galaxy. Like, you actually go, don't you? You get the book, and she reads it to you in the library and stuff. Like,
Hmm.
there's a whole game in there.
She tells
Like,
you her story.
yeah, like, can we play the game of her going around the universe and saving Lumas? Who is she saving the Lumas from? What
From?
kind of
Why
trouble
are
are
they
they in?
lost?
Right.
How did they get lost? So
Exactly.
the actual story is so she's a lonely girl discovers a lost Luma searching for its mama. She
Uh-huh.
helps it build a spaceship to travel across the
So she's
cosmos
an
to look for her.
engineer, great.
Apparently, she's
Okay.
like really talented. The Lumas and her become family. They travel together, bonding like family. Along the way, they meet other Lumas who also
Mhm.
join them.
Mhm.
So she's basically like picking up these lost kids and like these
Yeah.
orphans and stuff. And then her tragic past is revealed. The girl eventually remembers that her own dead mother is buried under a tree back at home on her own home planet.
Oh my god.
A dead mom in a Mario game. Come on now. And
That's too
then
much,
she has a cosmic transformation. She realizes her mother is gone forever. She stays with the Lumas,
right?
becomes their caretaker, and eventually turns into the immortal celestial being we know as Rosalina or
Yeah.
Rosalina, however you want to say it. I think it's
Yeah.
Rosalina, but um, so yeah, there's like death, grief. There's this space, and there's so
Mhm.
much you can do with this,
Yeah.
as a game. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my vote for glow up. There's also I mean, Waluigi
Wait, wait,
needs
wait, I wanna
to have.
say
Oh,
something about
sorry,
Rosalina real
sorry.
quick, sorry, because I think there's something fun about this, like, yeah, 'cause Waluigi, I have thoughts too. Um, the thing about Rosalina with that, like, her building the spaceship, like, like sure you could have a traditional game of like all the things we talked about like let's go like why is she going with these lumas, who's attacking them, why does she need to save them, like some cosmic mother Teresa or something like that,
Yeah.
like you know then if she is like an engineer I could see Nintendo going like really leaning into some weird control scheme and like you have to use the Joy-Con and the mouse Joy-Con or whatever to like build the ship or something, or help her figure out her mechanic abilities or her, universe, I don't know, manifestation abilities or whatever.
Right.
Um, or they like, or they could be like, the the precursor to Mario Kart is she's found all the Lumas and actually Rosalina was making the carts for Mario because she's such a good engineer that she's actually in the garage making all these carts, like sending them out there. I mean, you could go anywhere with it. This is
Yeah, she's
fucking
like,
stupid,
"Yeah, how do
right?
these
Yeah.
carts
Yeah.
turn into, from car to a jet ski or from scooter to
Yeah.
jet ski instantly?"
It's
Like,
Rosalina. I'm fucking telling you, Rosalina's out there making these transformable cars, being sad
"We
about the
don't
loss of
know
her
that.
mother,
We
and
don't
then doing something to make that mystical tree be the thing that powers the whole Mario universe. It's something
know."
there. It's something
There's
there.
something going on there.
Because that mystical tree is what's creating the power stars, I bet. I 100% guarantee you.
I don't know. I don't know, but
Print
they
it,
need it.
Nintendo, do it.
But Rosalina needs a game, that's
I
all I'm
agree.
saying.
Yeah.
Her own little game,
Give it
not a side character,
mm-mm.
no.
Give her the front row. Give her the front row.
And then the other person who needs a glow up,
Yeah.
I think, and you would love is your favorite, Waluigi,
Luigi.
what is he even like, he all he is just like he's like, again, he's a sports star and a
Yeah.
partier in the party games.
Yeah.
Like, Waluigi could be like this Grand Theft Auto kind of game or whatever, where he, like, does things sneakily, but, like, saves he's like the anti-hero, right?
Yeah.
So, like, he can I don't know, I think he needs one. He's an anti-hero,
He's
what was I gonna say?
mischievous.
A chaotic platformer or a
Yeah.
noir detective
Wha
where he scams his way through life. I don't know.
So, hold on, wait, I just real quick, a Nintendo Grand Theft Auto where Wario is going around
Not
scamming his
Wario, Waluigi.
Waluigi, sorry, where Waluigi is going around scamming people as a con artist or a vagrant or,
Yes.
the anti-hero. Fuck me, I'm buying that game right now. I could totally
Yes.
see all of that. And then you've got like I could see how you would have to go and like win over the shy guy faction or whatever so they can help you out throughout the game, or maybe go and like get the Goombas to do your bidding or something. Like he's
Exactly.
this big puppet master controlling all the baddies
And
out there.
he's working away like his around Bowser, like behind Bowser's back and
Ooh.
behind the big bad's back and stuff, like just doing, doing like still under that umbrella of
Yeah.
bad guyness, but also
Yeah.
having his own like syndicate or whatever,
I
I don't
love
know.
it. I can see like there's this whole scenario where like you do go and you have like you play a poker game with Bowser and Toad from Super Mario Brothers 2, the last big boss that you had to fight and throw vegetables in or whatever.
Yes.
And they're all like figuring out how are we gonna get Mario or whatever they're gonna do. Like we all gotta work together to do something. And while Luigi's there, the fucking mastermind for it.
He's just in it for himself though,
Oh,
ultimately.
yeah, he's gonna fuck them all over, right? He's gonna use them
Yes.
and abuse them and get rid of them. Oh
He's gonna
my
have his legs
god.
go
Yeah. As long as long as all the cars in this Nintendo version of Grand Theft Auto
Mario
are
Kart.
Mario Karts. Yes, they have to be Mario Karts.
Oh, I love it.
Or he could be like, I feel like he could be we could go something coconuts out there, right? So maybe Waluigi has like an epiphany and he goes, I want to get out of my, my bad ways or whatever. There's
Yeah.
something I could see him in like a chef hat or something, doing like a cool cooking game or some sort of game like that. I don't know why, but in my head I just see him as this like tall, kind of interesting chef, and it's a cooking game with like really bizarre mechanics that only Nintendo can come up with their control scheme or something.
Yeah, but,
Waluigi's
th
Diner
with
Time or something.
that's good, but that's not a glow up,
Oh,
A
okay.
glow up is having your own game,
Yeah, that's true.
you are the main character,
Yeah.
you are the protagonist, or the anti-hero, you
Mhm.
are the people demand it. They need Waluigi to have his own game.
Oh, there's a
So
lot of, like, sickos for Waluigi
oh,
out there,
yeah.
right? They think and they're, like, adamant. I'm sure there's, like, Reddit posts. I haven't gone down this far, but I'm sure there's, like, whole Reddit communities or whatever Substack groups that are like, "Waluigi's being done dirty by Nintendo. He's not getting the recognition he needs." And this
All
print it.
he is right now is a meme. He's tall, he's
Yeah,
purple, and he's forever stuck in the party sports games.
I think
Like,
so.
get him out of there
Yeah.
and keep him purple, though. That's like I
Oh,
love that color.
or what if it's like, because Waluigi is the counter to Luigi, right? So
Correct.
what if it's like some like multiverse, like the crossing of the streams or something, like where two universes are colliding and like you're turning from Waluigi, you're taking over Luigi's body or something, and you have to like, I don't know, there's something in there where it's like Luigi's, fighting his alter ego or something like that. And it's this big, you know, multiverse kind of thing happening that, you have to
Okay.
like I don't know the mechanics. It just sort of came to me. It's off the top of my head, but like I don't know what the gaming
Basically,
can yeah.
you have to be good or something. I don't know, or
Well, no.
bad
No, you
or what.
win
I don't know.
no, to your point, like he still gets to be Waluigi and you win the game because you actually get rid of Luigi and take over that universe and his universe is like cut off from the main circuit of the timeline of anything or whatever, right? It's like his black hole of the universe is taken over and he wins and Luigi is no more. He
That
gets
would
it
never
back. I
happen.
know, I don't want Luigi to go, but I like the
We
idea of us already.
okay. We're not killing off Luigi. I'm
No.
sorry for my
No.
co-host
Yeah,
here, but
part 2 no, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna get so many hate comments. No, part 2 of that series would be Luigi comes back and then they're friends or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
We can always save them.
yeah,
It's fine. It's fine.
that's fine.
I love that with Waluigi. Who else? What else have we got?
Another glow up. Oh, well, another question. Like, it could be a glow up. It could be like Shy Guy. What's behind the mask? Shy Guy. What's behind the mask? Like, what is going on there? And we don't know. It could be like an internal void or something. Like what is behind it? Is it just so scary? Is Shy Guy basically like a version of Toads, but like they're just so disfigured and messed up that they're shy. They don't want to show their skin off. And what is Shy Guy?
What is a shy guy? That's right, because we never like, obviously, the
And
whole point
why
of the
are they so
character
shy?
but yeah,
But they're not.
but there's I guess there's well, why did this
They're only shy.
start?
So they're shy, so they have to hide themselves. But
Yeah, but I feel like I mean, obviously, it comes from, like, a naming convention, right, from somewhere, like, back in the day, but I wonder if there was, like, some shy guys that if you walk towards them, they would, like, turn away or
around
something or
like
something. I
the
think there might be
ghosts, like
something like
when you
that.
look at the ghosts, they
Yeah,
stop.
they stop.
What if shy guys are the ghosts, but they're in like clothing form?
They're
Because the
like
ghosts only come out like at like
yeah.
like in night or in like the scary parts. But what if these are ghosts trying to live normally?
Or they're trapped. They're like they can't they're in limbo and they need to
Mm.
get to become a ghost and they have to complete some sort of mission or quest as a shy guy to be able to, like, find their true form of
Yeah,
being a
because
ghost or
Shy Guy
whatever.
gives me Spirited Away. So,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know,
Mhm.
like, what is going on?
I
I'm down for a Shy Guy game, though.
There's something definitely in that. I think, like so a couple things. What I love about the Shy Guys is that they're all sort of the same looking, so you could even, like, ape, some gameplay mechanics like a Lemmings type of things, but with all Shy Guys, like, that could be really cool. Um, but then, like, yeah, what's behind the mask? I feel like it's a detective game. Like,
Yeah,
somebody's out
and
there asking all the
we bring
Shy
in Detective
Guys
Pikachu to,
yeah,
like, discover
oh my
this.
gosh, those 2 universes crossing over, could you imagine? That would blow my mind. Um,
Yes.
but, like, yeah, it's like a really noir detective or, like, one of those, did you ever play those Capcom games, Ace Attorney the Ace Attorney ones where it's like you have to solve the case through going through,
Are
like,
these, like,
me
arcade games?
no, these are on
What?
DS. They started on DS, they're on
Oh.
3DS, and you can play the
Oh, I
anthology
played
of
that
them
oh, sorry,
now.
did you say Ace?
Ace Attorney, yeah.
Yeah, I played those, yes.
Okay, yeah.
You had
So
broke up there for a second, sorry.
Okay. So, yeah,
I
what if
got
it
you
was
now.
what if it was, like, in the style of that? Like, you're having to go around
And
and,
it's like
like, interrogate all the shy guys and,
yes,
like, do that kinda stuff?
and the finger pointing and the screen, like, flying in the background.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
And then I also had this other image of, like, what happens when the shy guy's mask actually comes off, and Maybe it's
And
just
you
like a
guess what?
void.
When it comes off, it's Waluigi the whole time. He's always been there.
He just the only way he would get acceptance to get into a game is to, like, don the mask of a shy guy and then, like, run around. I love that. I do like there is something about a Shy Guy game that could be really cool, and because they make that, like, noise. It's really, like, weird and funny, and, like, how would they all talk to each other, and, like, what would they
Mhm.
discuss? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what is a shy guy? I love it.
Shy Guy, what's behind the mask? It sounds like some sort of, like, really, like, heady, emotional play of some sort, right? From, like, really pretentious play that people go and see.
Pretentious play.
Yeah, it's like that. Um, that's amazing. Or it could be that they are the in this, like, multiverse kinda thing, that's obviously what stuck in my head, but, like, what if they're the multiverse version of Toads, right? Because there's a million bazillion Toads everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yes,
Or like they
yes.
were like like they're the opposite of they're like the Luigi to the Waluigi
Right.
of a toadstool to
Oh, yeah,
whatever,
to a Shy Guy.
to a shy
Oh,
guy,
I didn't
yeah.
connect the dots on that one. Yeah, great thought. I love that, Mike. That's perfect. Love it. Yeah,
Interesting. Okay, but
yeah.
who else? Who
Oh
else?
my gosh.
Give me a blow up. Glow
Give
up, I
you a
mean.
glow up. Uh, give you a blow up. Um, I well, when we were discussing this, the name Daisy came up.
Yeah,
Um,
she's
I don't
just
know much about Daisy, right? I don't
well,
really
she's lesbian. We all know
we
that.
great. So we'd finally get some representation for the LGBTQI plus community.
Representation.
Love that. Let's have that. Daisy, I feel like the thing I know about she's high energy, right?
She's
She's
so
always
high
bringing that
energy.
like, "Yeah," she just is super
She's like,
positive. She's
"Daisy,
loving
yeah,
everything.
number
Yeah.
1," when
She
she
is
wins Mario
so
Kart. She's
confident,
crazy.
right? So, but how did Daisy get so confident? I feel like it would have to be some sort of like Daisy challenge game, right? Where you have to like learn how to build the skills. There would be like skill trees about it. Like, how are you going to become the best like jump roper? Or how are you going to become the best runner? Or how are you going to become the best
She is all
driver?
about sports. She
Yeah.
is in every sports Mario game. So, like, she's
Hmm.
sporty spice.
There you go. So it could be like Daisy's like sports RPG of some sort, right? I think
Okay.
because they did that Mario Golf game a while back on the Game Boy
Yeah.
Advance that people loved. That one was the one that Camelot made that everybody's obsessed with, which had like perfect RPG mechanics to it. Maybe Daisy needs to star in like be the head like the sports coach, right? Like or something like that where
I don't
you
know.
are
Daisy's too high energy for that, though. She needs to
uh,
be like at a high action game, like Super Daisy Land, like,
mhm. Well,
I don't
that's true
know.
because she made her first appearance in Super Mario Land, didn't she, on the Game Boy as the princess that you save? That's the first
Okay.
time that
Yeah.
Daisy was ever referenced, so I wonder then maybe they could go, like what if they went, like, they went old school and they were like, Mario of Mario
Mario
Land is
needs to be
trapped.
saved.
Thank you. Yeah, Daisy could be because we've never really done that. I know that Princess Peach unfortunately had, like, her game in the Game Boy Advance that was all about her emotions, which is a really shitty thing that they did.
Yeah, it's kind
Um,
of
so wrong, so
so
wrong.
wrong.
So they could actually like, kind of take the lead, Daisy being the heroine of actually going to save Mario here, and pull into all that Daisy chaotic energy. But who knows? Like I would just think, but also she's a blank slate too, right?
She is a
So
blank slate.
so it could be like anything. But does Daisy have the selling power of like a Pauline? Like, Pauline's come out of nowhere.
That is true, and
Yeah.
the thing is Daisy's been more playable than Pauline has ever
Yeah.
Daisy's always been around, I feel like,
Yeah.
whereas Pauline's always been around, but, like, Pauline didn't really get anything
Mhm.
until the DS, I believe, and when she Donkey Kong games and stuff, like, she is more of, like, a active person. In Odyssey, like, everybody's like, "Oh, cool, she sings," and then
Yeah. I mean, Odyssey, she was pushed to the front of people's minds. Like,
yeah.
oh, she is the mayor of New Donk City. She is this amazing singer. And obviously, it's great they're building on that lore and, Donkey Kong Bonanza coming up. And like, maybe Donkey Kong Bonanza is the origin story, as we talked about. You had that thought on the last episode of the origins of New Donk City or something you were saying about
Yeah.
that. Um, so yeah, I guess like what
What's
I
Daisy's origin
feel I
story?
feel like Daisy and Yoshi could be a good match for some reason. I don't know
Okay.
why, but I feel like maybe Daisy is the princess who actually like help the Yoshis become who they are today or something like that,
Maybe she
I don't
hatched the
know.
eggs, I don't
Maybe,
know.
yeah, maybe there's something
Maybe
back there.
she has an incubator and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, or Yoshi's World too, right? Where it's Daisy having to save all the Yoshis instead of the Yoshis saving Mario or whatever. I don't know. Like, bring all that into it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would like to know and, like you say,
Mhm.
why and also, why don't the princesses have their counter like Waluigi and Wario?
Oh yeah, like
Imagine, like, some, like, just, like, some
Princess Wheat,
servant ser huh?
Princess Wheat or something like that.
No, like, I don't know, like, rotten peach, I don't know,
Oh
something
yeah,
weird.
Rotten Peach or
I don't know, I'm just making up stuff,
yeah, Wilted Daisy.
but they're all, like, super, like, dark hair, but they all have sass about them and, like,
Yes.
attitude and, like,
Yes.
flip
They're
off people.
they're like the emos from school, like, they've
Yes!
got nose rings, they're wearing dark
Yes!
lipstick,
They look
real,
like brat
like
dolls. Brat
yes.
dolls, that's what
They
they are.
are they are Charlie X XCX basically, right?
No,
They
but
are bringing,
you know
like
the
yeah.
brat dolls with no
Oh,
nose?
yes, yes,
Just
yes.
a
Oh,
big
yeah, yeah,
lips?
yeah, 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 yeah. Those, yes,
They're
I'm
just
with you
brat
now.
dolls.
Yeah.
And also Charlie XX, sure,
That
why not?
yeah. Yeah. I think the counterparts of, Princess Peach and Daisy would absolutely be living for Brat Summer, even though Brat
Brat
Summer was
summer.
last year and is apparently over now. I don't know what's going on anymore, but
It's never over.
it's never over. It's never fuck that. This is the game. The game is how Brat became Brat through the Wah Peach and Wah Daisy, how Brat was created and how they inspired Charlie XCX to be Brat. Love it.
Done.
I'm playing that
Print.
game. There's gonna be so many good mechanics. You're gonna have to write songs. You're gonna have to do like
We're gonna have to
dance
go to
moves.
late night
Yeah,
raves.
late night raves, and you're gonna have to get on the what's it called? Remember the Dance Dance Revolution things where you had to like do the
Yes.
dance moves is there. There's gonna be a bit of karaoke involved.
Perfect.
You're gonna have to sneak around and smoke cigarettes and not get caught by your
Not get
parents.
caught.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna sneak around and do mushrooms. You're gonna take a bite you're gonna take a bite of a toad.
Take a bite of a toad and then, like, trip your balls off and not what's going on and then, like, create brat. Oh my god.
And what Daisy is like, "What?"
Ah, yeah. She brings the chaos.
She brings the
Wa
chaos.
Peach brings this the other one we can't say because that's a naughty word.
She brings the fish,
The
the
fish.
sleigh,
Yes, she brings some really,
but
like,
Daisy's gonna be chaos
D
nonstop.
full on chaos. Like Daisy's Wa Daisy, we gotta get this right. Wa Daisy's gonna be the one that like wakes up with like some like cigarette in her hair. She's gonna finish the beer that's just to the side of her. Like literally look in the mirror and do this number and just be like, let's go. Where are we going now? Right?
He's like,
It's
"Wake
like,
up, slut, let's go."
yeah, exactly. Oh my God. I need to play this game. I need
That'd
to
be
play this.
so fun.
And it's actually not a glow up, it's like a reverse glow up, whatever that would mean. Like a I don't
Yes, it's an
know.
anti-glow
It's an
up.
anti-glow up. Yeah, that's
Anti-glow
cool.
up.
I wanna see that game. Oh, fucking come on, Nintendo. Listen to this, make that game, get on Charlie XCX's team, like, make it happen. Just go for it. Have the balls to do it, Nintendo. Have the balls to do it. Be
I
Brat.
love it. I love it. Be brat. Okay, back to life. Come back down to reality.
Oh
I
my
think somebody who
gosh.
could
Oh,
really work for another glow up would
yeah.
be Pura? Pura
Purra?
from
Oh, how
Zelda?
did yeah, because we never hear the name
Pura,
said,
what
do
is
we?
this behavior?
Purra, what is this
Um,
behavior? Yeah.
Pura from Zelda series,
Yes.
like, she is the tech savvy one, right?
Yeah.
So she's,
Yeah.
like, doing all this fun tech stuff. She can have, like, her own tech savvy adventure,
Yeah.
like, in the world of Hyrule, and
Mhm.
I think that would be kinda cool.
Yeah, she was a really cool, side character that
And
they
people love her. Like,
yeah.
that she like, she's has, like, a fan following and stuff, like,
Yeah,
people love her.
'cause she brings, like, youthful, like, positive, like, energy of, like, like, cosplay energy. She brings that kind of fun,
Yes.
like, she just is happy to be and dress up, but also, like, super smart, and, so she's not like a, dumb-brained, female character at all, right? She actually,
No.
like she has fun energy, but she's actually super smart and super great. So this would be really good for,
And
like and
talented,
talented and
and,
all
like,
of
she
that.
without her, none of Link's things would have worked, so
Exactly, right? So, actually, she saved Hyrule if you really wanna break it down.
right?
Yeah. Bring it
100%.
down, right, yeah, she gave
Bring it
Link all
down.
of the ability to do what he did, and if it weren't for her, Hyrule Ganon would win in that timeline.
Lost.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, what is that game, right? Because if in Zel in Tears of the Kingdom, we already got the build everything mechanic, right? So, like, how are we gonna lean into her tech genius
What if
machinations?
what if it's all background? So,
Yeah.
like, we don't see what when Link is fighting and doing everything, we don't see what's actually happening in the
Uh-huh.
background.
Right.
So it could be the same game. It could be Breath of the Wild, or it could be Tears
Yes.
of the Kingdom, but it's from pure
Mhm.
from Pura's
Yeah.
perspective.
Uh-huh.
And so she's like, "Okay, create." So you have to create this thing. You have to do this, and you give it to him, and then you're like, "It's not working." And then you're in the background, and while Link is doing what he's doing, she's like hits the button, and then goes, and then she's the one that actually kills it, but it looks like Link did it, and so on and so forth. But it's like,
Yeah.
no, that wouldn't go over well. But it's like background, like you have to do these things in order to help the other heroes. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
I
just
think
constantly building, and it could be like a Roblox kinda thing too. You have to, like, build shit.
yeah.
I don't know.
That was where my mind was going. I think that whole sense of, like,
Not Roblox, but whatever they're called.
Minecraft or like where she is the vehicle for creating all these environments, right? Like your own
Okay,
kind of world building place. Um, and also another thing that was coming up as you were sharing there, like so there could be something where like it's a two-player game and you you have to work together. So Pura has all these good ideas, right? And she knows how to build it, but she needs a team of people to help her build it. She can't just do all the work, right? So there's something around you have to help each other
does do all the
out.
work.
Does she? Is she?
She she is badass. She does all the work nonstop. She is the number one
Okay.
ki she is the moment,
She's the moment.
okay?
So then, yeah, I guess if
She don't need no help.
do you know what it might be then? It might be like a sort of Pikmin-esque type of game where she's got all of these worlds that are needing support and doing things, and you've
Okay.
gotta build something over here, but it breaks down. It's like SimCity in a way. She's gotta build something over here, it's gonna break down, and she's gotta build this, and, like, something's happening with this building over here, or some new technology needs to be invented. So you've got all these different systems happening at one time, but Pura is, like, able to do it and to build new stuff as you level up. You get more access to like, it's like how she learned to be this amazing mechanic by doing all of these things, right? It's the backstory part of thing that you were
I
talking
like it.
about. Yeah.
That's nice. I like
Yeah.
that. Well,
Yeah.
also, crossover to the Rosalina game, Pikmin and Rosalina, they're exploring the galaxy, and then they come across Rosalina and the Lumas, like,
Oh,
come on, that's, like, really good.
yes. Oh my God. I would love it if those type of things happen. That would be so cool. So
I mean, they
cool.
all exist in the same world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on now.
And did Rosalina ever show up in Mario Odyssey? I can't remember. I don't think, and that's like the perfect place because it's like space and everything, and
Did
like, wouldn't that
she?
have been the place where she does? I can't remember. It's been so long since I played it. I don't know, listeners, let us
Mario
know.
Odyssey?
Yeah. Did she show up in Mario Odyssey?
No, I don't know.
Hold on. That's such a missed trick because she can
Where was
build
their
ships.
space?
Sorry. w- The
Oh,
it,
they do go into
they do.
space.
He goes into the moon and stuff, but why was Cappy's spaceship broke in the first place, right? So then the spaceship, you have to go around and get all the parts, or the ship, and then eventually you can go into space. Like, there's got to be something with that connection. If Rosalina can build this spaceship to take everybody around, like she did in Galaxy,
Galaxy.
yeah. And then they did her dirty and didn't have her in Galaxy 2, did they? They were like, "Yeah, you're great. You're not in this one. Your story's not that important. We're just going to do what we want."
I don't know. This is upsetting me now.
Don't get upset. It was just a fun think piece, Mike. We were just doing a thought experiment. A few of them I really
Anyways,
want to be
I
true.
my
Yeah.
number 1, I
Yeah.
think, is Rosalina's backstory,
Yeah.
and I think like to play it, and it's tragic, and
Mhm.
it's gonna be so good. She becomes immortal, like, come on, how do you be immortal? It's like
True.
a Tomb Raider game, like, she finds, like, the thing and the whatever, the artifact, and
Yeah.
goes up into the sky and
Yeah, she's gotta
glowing, and
she's gotta hunt through the universe to find all the things that are
it
needed
turns
to,
into,
like,
like, where Galadriel from Lord of the Rings is like, that's what Rosalina, and it's gonna be so good.
I would play that one. I would definitely play, I think, the Waluigi Grand Theft Auto that we talked about,
Waluigi, Grand Theft Auto,
and the Wa
or
Peach
it's
and
is
Wa
it Grand
Daisy.
Theft Carto?
Grand Theft Cardo, put that on the box. I'm buying it. I'm done. I'm done. Grand Theft Mario Kart, Grand Theft Cardo.
That'll be fun.
Um, all of
Imagine just
these, all of
kicking out
these.
a
Yeah.
Toadette, throwing her around with her by her little Toadette braids.
Yeah, but then you could have the ultimate crossover from the, like, Brat game that we talked about with Wa Peach and Wa Daisy. They'd show up as, like,
Oh, Grand Theft Auto.
antiheroes in the Grand Theft Auto one, right? They would totally be there
Yes.
causing chaos. Um,
Chaos nonstop.
yeah. What? Mike, that was so stupid. I love doing that kind of stuff. That was so fun. Yeah, definitely time for glow ups for some of these characters. Like, let's bring them to the front. And come on, it's more merch, right? It's more merch. Nintendo can
More
sell more merch, more
merch.
games, more theme park stuff. Like, it's all part of their business plan at the moment. And, they've done that, like, Disney's even done it with, like, the backs, like, the children of the bad guys or whatever. I think those, like, there's, like, TV shows. I haven't seen it, but I
Oh, yeah, 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 like
yeah,
Disney
Enchanted
Channel.
or something like that. The Disney Channel did, yeah. Yeah, the young, like,
Descendants.
the descendants of the bad characters, right? There's
Yes, I've
ways to
never
do it.
seen it, but I know
I've
what you're
never seen
talking
it,
about.
but Nintendo could do it. But what do you think, listeners? Who needs a glow up
Who
from
needs
the
a club? Who
Nintendo
would you like to
world?
see get their own game?
Yeah, what game would it be? Everything's on the table. Obviously, we just went all different places that I didn't expect to go with that. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, write in and let us know what you think, or leave in the comments which character deserves their glow up and what would the game be. Any other thoughts on that, Mike, before we start wrapping this up?
I don't know. Samus doesn't really have any help. It's just her.
She's
Like,
just
she's
already
already glowing up.
glowing up. Yeah,
Give me a Metroid. No, a Metroid. No, they're bad guys. I don't know. Samus needs a buddy.
I like her doing her own
A
thing on her
solo
own.
bounty hunter.
Yeah, she's definitely a solo bounty hunter. She's out there, she's got it. We're in safe hands.
Yeah.
Well, she has
Okay.
her little buddy. She has a little buddy from the little Metroid that helped her out in Super Metroid.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Anyways, okay. Well, I guess that is about everything for this
That
episode.
is it.
So, just to flag what's happening and coming down the line for the next few episodes, listeners, we are, as we said earlier, we are going to start playing South of Midnight. You can play that on Game Pass if you have it on any place where you can play Game Pass. South of Midnight, check it out. And then on the next episode, which we're planning on going up on Friday, the 11th of July, we're going to do a whole spoiler cast on that, share our thoughts on our playthrough, what we thought of it, the lore, the history, the developers, all that kind of good stuff. It's going to be all focused on South of Midnight. And then the following week's episode is going to be our initial thoughts on Donkey Kong Bonanza. Mike and I are both going to get it and play it as soon as we can open it, going to preload it. And as soon as we can open it, we're going to play as much as we can and share our initial thoughts on Donkey Kong Bonanza. And that will be Friday the 18th. So we're coming at you week after week with some good content. Check out the shorts. We've got some more going up. My trip to the San Francisco store. I need to put the Nintendo store in San Francisco. I need to put that up. And Mike is really killing it with a lot of those shorts that he's putting up. So definitely make sure you check it out. Mike, where can people find you on the internet when they want to engage with you?
The internet. Out of Sync Gaming on Instagram and TikTok. Out of Sync Gaming Station on Twitch. And what else? Out of Sync Gamers at outofsyncgaming.co.uk.
Yeah, we're also on
Send us
Blue
your
Sky.
questions
If you're on Blue
and
Sky,
Blue
hit us up
Sky.
over there. Yeah, everything out of Sync Gaming. Just look for it. You'll find us. And I think that's about everything from us on this episode. So, and next time, just remember,
Play the games you want to.
bye.
Bye.